Yep, here we go then. 5 lights that we will have very shortly at Silverstone, and we are go! And it's difficult to see who exactly got a good start. It looked like a slow one from WoW, though it was a slow one from WoW. Copy leads into turn 1, and Danny as well sniffing at the back of the Renault, and Renault. Ocean is out already. What happened to Ocean Chief? In turn 1, and we have a VSC and another crash at the back. So NJJ, Astro Boy is getting 5 seconds, both of them.
What is going
and
on?
spinning was Max. We've got Hugo's again. He's going to be under pressure here from Pretorius, who got a slightly better run that time out of the Beckett complex. Hugo's with the straight line speed though, but not quite enough to deal with the DRS, and Pretorius goes up the inside into the Stowe corner. Good stuff from him. And we've got Vance alongside Light Cruiser side by side, and Vance a little squeeze there, a little bit of contact between the two of them.
He hooked his tyre in there. That was certainly spooky for Bance. Must have thought that was it. And then going to the inside. The McLaren on the outside. We got yellow flags somewhere. But Light Cruiser hanging around the outside. Luigi has retired through left field. Bance is on the outside. Light Cruiser inside. Going towards the old start finish straight. And there's some wheel banging, yes. But it's hard to pass that. He can't really. Maybe he has to follow him. And maybe if he doesn't get through here. Okay, he gets through here, so no need to speculate on that. I'm sure he'll... Oh, Julian is knocking on the door, though. He's running side by side with Cozzy, and he's making contact. Cozzy's sent off track. He has to rejoin a little bit later, and he's still side by side with Julian after being sent off track. Wheel banging onto the hangar straight. And Julian's got DRS. Both of them got DRS actually. Inside line for Julian. Next one is going to be Stowe, and that is Julian's corner. So Julian also passed Cozzy. Cozzy was irritating to all three of the front runners. I'm going to check. Oh, Copy. Copy actually trying now, and yeah, there's no resistance by... Wow, I think he had a 0. He just let him through. Dude, looks like Pretorius had a better run through the first corner. Now he's trying to break Yugos on the outside. Can he swing it round there? Now he's got the inside line in that tight corner. Yugos lets him, gives him enough space, but also carries the momentum around the outside to keep his position. But now the DRS is going to be open. Engine mode 4 for both of them, but Yugos' battery is about to be half empty. Pretorius keeps a nail on the halfway point of the track. Doesn't give him much space into Luffield. They're still side by side. Who's going to get the better run onto the old start-finish straight? I think it is Pretorius for now. And now the next one is going to be Cops. And I think someone has to be responsible here and go out of it. And Yura slots in behind Pretorius. So Pretorius got the move done. So he's going to struggle to try what he did a lot, and oh, he's actually going for a late plunge. He's putting his nose in here there. What can Pretorius do there? Still running side by side.
He was almost spun, very nearly spun on the exit of Stowe. DRS though, he's got no battery.
Yeah, no battery for him, so his car's gonna break down halfway on the straight, but it's enough to spin Yugos! And Yugos is round, he got hooked on the back of Pretorius there, and he goes the other way round, so he might even drop him behind Light Cruiser. Ridiculous happens. I'm not going to try and jinx, and indeed,
get a penalty in the last corner, but that's not going to happen.
Nothing ridiculous happens. Oh, the fastest lap's flying in, but wow.
To be continued, as I forget to set it to not loop, so never mind about that. Let's forget. Let's not pay attention to that. We have Tier 1 in SLR, as you can see with the dank overlay, and we have everyone in here, including Mr. Timo, who registered as a driver for this race. Can you inform us, Timo, what tires did you select at the beginning of the session?
That's a very weird question. I don't know. I just tried to get more tires in, so Tipsy has got a better selection or something. It's just the usual Renault cheatery.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting tactics. But yeah, Timo is not going to be driving in this race, unfortunately. Despite his good results in Tier 2, he's not yet been promoted to Tier 1, which means I get him alongside me in the commentary box.
Thanks for doing the flexing for me, so I don't have to.
So it is Germany, it is Hockenheim, it's Timo's home race, of course, the German Grand Prix, and one of many, yeah, absolutely. We have 15 minutes of qualifying to go, and you can see Mr. Bugos, who is in the Toro Rosso for this one. He is a reserve, but he's been hitting F1 pretty hard recently. He's going to cross the line now, and he's going to do the fastest lap of the session so far. And that is a 1 minute 15.7. Max Spiltz goes across the line, does a 1 minute 14.8. We expect, well, you can see literally everybody on the hards, with the exception of a couple of drivers, Tipsy and Bantz. So we expect effectively a one-shot qualifying at the end of the session on mediums, because you don't want to be on the softs at Hockenheim. You want to be going medium hard. It is a one-stop race.
To be fair, it's probably a two-shot qualifying, because you go out, then you do your first time lap, you do a cooldown lap, recharge your battery, put your fuel load down, and then you come across for a second time. That is usually the way it's played, so you've got two attempts at getting a competitive time, but still, I mean, it is more pressure than in the usual session where you've got 3 or maybe even up to 4 runs, and where you can invalidate some, come in, get new tires, or just abandon. So I mean, more pressure than usually, but not quite a one-shot qualifying.
Yep, not quite one shot. It's a little bit more than that, but yeah, it's if you invalidate, you're not completely screwed, but you're mostly screwed. But we've got a few drivers who have been doing some quick laps on the hard tyres. We've got Luigi and Pretorius both in the low 1-minute 13s. We've got Cozzy and Gary and NJJ also all in the 13s as well. We have Astro Boys on track, and he's about to do what looks like a lap on the hard tyres as well. So we have a little bit of time to kill. And yeah, the weather, Nethluke, thanks for pointing that out. I did actually get Timo to check the weather before he retired in the race, and it is dry all the way. So no rain expected at Hockenheim today. And so it should be a straight fight between all of these drivers. We've got several of the championship contenders in as Astro Boy spins in turn 1. That was unexpected. Wasn't expecting to see that. Astro Boy is obviously pushing just a little bit too hard on his first flying lap, and around he goes. But as well as Astro Boys, we have Julian in this session. We have Copy in this session. So several of the fast boys. We have Pretorius, who's been there or thereabouts most of the season. We have Danny as well, who likewise has been tearing it up in recent weeks. So it should be a good one. Hugos does the fastest lap of the session so far, 13.1 on, that's his second lap on those hard tyres.
Yeah, Hockenheim is an interesting racing venue. Unfortunately, it's going to be the last Hockenheim Grand Prix in SLR in the foreseeable future.
Luigi retired. What happened there?
I don't know.
I guess he's off at turn 1. So
That's
I would
weird.
imagine, I'm going to try and see. Oh yeah, no, he lost a wheel. He definitely lost a wheel. So he did the Valtteri Bottas by the looks of things from the real life race last season.
Right?
So
Wounds are still open.
Luigi, unfortunately, is not going to be starting this race near the front. His hard time is going to be the best time that he posts. Icewind with a very fast lap on the hard tyres, a 1 minute 12.6. He and Popo both in the 12s.
So, what I was gonna say, it's the last Hockenheim race in SLR because the other tiers have been here already, and next game is not gonna contain Hockenheim as it is not back for 2020 on the real calendar, and unfortunately we can't drive this track then. Which is a shame because it's a great track in my opinion. There's lots of great racing. There's just one little problem with it, and that is that there's 3 DRS zones, and someone's off in the Sachskurve. It's Max Biltz in the Toro Rosso. Now he'll have to get out of the way, and he does so by stopping on track, but off the racing line. Let's hope he doesn't get DQ'd, get moving. Oh god.
Yeah, that was a bit scary, wasn't it? We were following Bantz all the way through there.
No,
So,
the last car to let through. Okay, good. He's managed to let everyone clear him. So yeah, it has the problem that there's 3 DRS zones, and as if that wasn't enough, the last one is absolutely powerful. Like it's a close half a second end attempt to move a DRS zone kind of thingy, and yeah, so you usually see these big trains developing, big trains of cars that are just chasing each other around, and you would have to theoretically gain 10 seconds. 10 seconds. What am I talking about? A second. A second from the hairpin to the last corner of the track, where the famous Dragster strip is now. And I mean, that's a very hard thing to do, especially if you've got like the likes of, I don't know, Wow, who's there unfortunately, but like Copy, Julian, if you got those guys behind you, it doesn't matter that you're one of them as well, you don't clear them in that range. So I expect that there's going to be like a full-on fighting or trailing DRS train for this race, and it's going to be a little spicy.
Yeah, it certainly will. Yeah, it's a pretty strong DRS at Hockenheim. There's the one stretch between turns 1 and 2, but the main one is the one through the Parabolica, the long left-hander before the hairpin. So Julian just got blocked a little bit there by Bantz, who was not really very keen to get out of the way. It shouldn't matter too much. They're both on hard tyres, so it won't matter a great deal for either of them. Meanwhile, what do we have here? Max is on a cool down lap, having done a 1 minute 13.3 on the soft tyres. Fastest lap of the session though, 12.3 on the hards from Copy, and he is pedaling that Williams. That is a very fast lap on the hards.
Oh dear. I think that's like close to the 2-2 pole? I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember.
I think I did like a... Maybe I did like a 12... Like I would have been behind Copy, but there were people on mediums, and I guess they were just like about ahead of me. I was P5, and I would be like where NJJ was right now, I guess. So I mean, this is absolutely stunning.
Yep, that is a pretty incredible lap from Copy. We've yeah, NJJ has crossed the line. He's done a 1 minute 12.4 on the medium tyre, so that will probably be the lap that he ends the session with. We've got most of the drivers out at the moment are still on hard, so there's going to be some medium running, I would imagine, towards the end of the session. We have 7 minutes left at the moment. Icewind and Popo both on outlaps on their medium tyre runs, so we're going to keep an eye on those two. Popo crossing the line, and he's going to start his lap, and we're going to ride on board with it a little way. He did not invalidate in turn 1. That was very committed through there. Slows all the way down to second gear, gets the car turned in for turn 2, and then through the parabolica he goes, as Timo is typing away furiously in the background. And into the hairpin goes Popo. Did manage to get it turned in there, took a wide swing. And we're trying to keep an eye on the rest of the leaderboard as well. Most drivers now out on the medium tyres. We're going to want to do a lap, and then having done the lap, as Pretorius goes fastest on a 1 minute 12.2, he's on the medium tyres as well. And as Luigi leaves the session, I would imagine he will be back for the race though. Into the Sachs curve goes Popo. And the final corner looked like a tidy lap from Popo, and he puts the Racing Point P2 just barely behind Pretorius. So good stuff from him. Icewind has, by the looks of it, invalidated. Yeah, he has invalidated. So he's going to have to take another run on the medium tyres. Going to start with a little bit of extra tyre wear. We won't mind that too much. 5 minutes to go in qualifying. Gary crosses the line. Good lap from Gary, 12.2 as well. I would expect that Paul will be well into the 1 minute 11s though. Certainly some fast boys out there. Going to keep our eye on Icewind, who just crosses the line now. Didn't invalidate this time in turn 1. As we see through the slow right-hand turn 2, he's 2.5 tenths up on his 1 minute 12.6 that he did earlier this session on the hard tyres. We're going to see whether he can improve appreciably on that. 4.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session, and that looked neat and tidy through the hairpin. He looked like he struggled a little bit to get the power down. As Tipsy informs us that he's not managed to bring hards to this qualifying session, so he's going to go softs instead. So we'll see how that goes for Tipsy. You don't really want to be on the softs, but maybe if nobody else is doing it and you start up near the front, you can make it work. I missed the second split for Icewind there, but it looks like it's a reasonably good lap. He looks on course to complete it at the moment. Around the last couple of corners he goes. And he goes fastest of all on a 1 minute 12.0, so that's the marker that he has put down. Julian on a lap as well though, and he'll be wanting to improve on his 12.9.
With a nice time. It's P2 for him for the moment. Oh, there's a glitchy barrier.
There is?
Or maybe just for me, but I just had a close-up shot on the barrier in turn 1, which is gone, presumably because of Luigi.
Interesting. Okay.
Like
So,
it was dancing around and then came to a halt atop the next barrier. So stack. I'd hope that stays. Looks fascinating.
well, fingers crossed as we see Julian coming through the last couple of corners now. This is Julian's medium lap, and this will probably be the lap that he sets for the grid. He crosses the line and he goes into the 1 minute 11s. It's an 11.8 from Julian. So a very good lap from him. Astro Boys has done a 12.1. So Mercedes 3 and 4 right now. A couple of people on fast laps. Bance is on a fast lap in the Ferrari. Danny also on a fast lap in the Ferrari. Going to go back to Bance for the end of his lap. He's 4/10ths up at the moment. He'll need to do a little bit better than that though if he's going to trouble the top 10 in this qualifying session. Through the last couple of corners he goes. He has a Renault in front of him. That shouldn't matter. He crosses the line and does a 12.4, which puts him at the back of a very long train of cars as Gary retires.
That might be knocked out of the top, or will probably be knocked out of the top 10 with
Yep.
that.
Danny putting in a good lap.
Danny in P5.
Now I'm going to keep an eye on Tipsy here because Tipsy is doing his lap on softs. So we'll see what he can do on those soft tyres. The soft tyres don't last very long at all at Hockenheim. Just a few laps. So we'll see whether he can get himself at the front of the grid at the very least. Because if he's to compete, he will need to be at the front of the grid.
Yeah, it's like either be outside of the top 10, get a decent strategy, or at least be at the very front and
yep, exactly.
have the benefits of that. Because if he's going to qualify in like P6 or P7, then he's got a big problem. But the question is, what is it going to be? As he follows Astro Boys through the last two corners, coming onto the final straight, he goes across the line and it is P.
Astro Boys P2. Tipsy goes fastest though, on a 1 minute 11.7, so a bit of a glory run for Tipsy. Good stuff from him. Julian goes second on a 1:11.8.
Light Cruiser, or no, Bascadinho? There was a destroyed McLaren.
Well, Bascadinho is retired, so it was probably Bascadinho.
Yeah, like there were carbon fiber chunks all over the track, but luckily no punctures or anything. So Tipsy with that beats the tier 2 pole time, by the way, which was Netflix with an 11.9 on softs as well.
So Hugo's crosses the line, does a 1:12.2. He's just barely in the top 10 at the moment. Copy is still yet to put a medium lap in though. The hards is what he did that 1 minute 12.3 on, so he needs to make this a good lap if he's going to be up near the front as Julian goes faster again. That was his second lap on those medium tyres and he's made it count. It's a 1 minute 11.5, which is a really good lap for the Dutchman.
Yeah, amazing stuff really. I wonder if anyone is going to be able to do anything about it. Probably one of the candidates is Copy. He is on a flyer right now, I think.
Yep, he is.
And coming towards the Mercedes corner. Huge grandstands. And heading towards the stadium section here. Looks like a good lap to me so far. And he comes across the Sector 2 split. It's going to be half
a second up.
On his hard time. Yeah, it's about what you'd expect, and he's definitely going to challenge. I think he's on course for P3 at least right now. He's also going to try and improve further. As Danny puts it in P4, and now Copy with his lap. It is the final one, and he comes across the line, and it is P2 for Copy, just behind Julian, and I have to leave the session right now so I don't get a car. You'll have to invite me.
Okay, so Timo says good beer for the time being.
Good beer.
And Copy puts it on the front row. So Tipsy P3 on those softs, which, I don't know, it might work out for him. That's a decent position for him to be in. He would otherwise have been, I think, further back than that. So good stuff from Tipsy. He's going to see what he can do on those soft tyres. That is the end of qualifying. And I will wait to invite Timo until the race session starts.
Yeah, tell me when we're on the formation now, because then I can save
Okay.
rejoin according to Danny.
Okay, so there is the grid anyway. Julian on pole, Copy P2, and then Tipsy is that wild card on the soft tyres, making things interesting in P3. Then Astro Boys P4, Danny P5, Icewind P6, Pretorius P7, very close between all of those drivers, and then also very close between Popo, Hugos, and Gary, who rounds out the top 10. So, German Grand Prix in Tier 1 about to get underway. Before we go, figure we should probably remind you that this is happening next week.
Extreme Gaming League presents
13th of March for Extreme Rivals 8.
League presents
Once again, I need to fix that setting, don't I? I need to turn everything off loop because it'll just play over and over again. So that was the trailer for next week's Extreme Rivals. Next Friday is when that's happening then. So join us for that. In the meantime, here is the SLR Tier 1 race, and you can in fact join now, Timo.
I need an invite.
Oh, you need an invite. Okay, well, let's give Mr. Beamer an invite. Where is Mr. Beamer? There he is. Invite to lobby.
Yeah, so what I was explaining why we were muted. Yeah, Luigi's crash is absolutely glorious. I don't know, he kept it close to the barrier, and then suddenly the game just decides that he's apparently too close to the barrier, and it teleports him out of the
Oh no!
out of the limits of the one out of the pit line and onto the track, and he's just lacking a front wheel. It's just gone. It's hilarious,
dear.
to say the least. I'm very sad we
Ridiculous.
can't. I'm very sad we can't watch it on stream because it's definitely worthy of it. but that's why I was laughing. That's why I
Yep.
was talking into the introduction.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You actually weren't talking on stream. I just I had my mic open, but not
that is
yours.
so
So
mean.
that was good.
Good work.
But
So
here we go with the start of this race. Only one driver on hards. It is Mr. Bantz, who always likes to mix things up where he can, and he's done that once again today. Everyone else starting on mediums, including Mr. Beamer, who doesn't have a car. But
not on the timing tower for me.
okay, well you are for us. So
Well, that's amazing.
it's,
Okay, there's no Renault here though, which is good. So it actually worked. So the question is, how's the start gonna go? Is there gonna be challenge into turn 1? I mean, it is quite dicey trying to get it past into turn 1. I expect Copy to do nothing. But
yep.
still, we'll see.
We will see indeed. 5 lights and go, and a jump start from Popo from P8 on the grid. That's bad news for him, and a pretty good start by the looks of it from Julian up front. A very good start from Astro Boys, who's jumped Tipsy into P3. A little bit of contact between the two of them there, but no harm done by the looks of things as they head down towards turn 2. Astro Boys sending one on the inside and turning Copy around. Oh, Astro Boys,
no,
a big
that's
crash,
it,
a big
That's
pile up.
the leader.
And Copy
Iceland.
getting turned around. We got a VSC, which might make things a little bit less painful for Copy at least, but he's all the way at the back of the grid. Astro Boys, who caused that little incident, he does have damage as well on that Mercedes.
You guys is in P2.
Hugo's is in
that-
P2. Yeah, I guess that was. Yeah, I guess he got through unscathed. It was.
He's won 7 positions.
Yep, he
That's
certainly
incredible.
has. So good start
Oh
from
my.
Hugo's. Pretorius hasn't got damage either by the looks of things. Tipsy does though, in that Renault. So Tipsy was
Yeah.
caught up in that incident there.
Yeah, from 0 to hero to 0 again for Astro. It's such an amazing start. He jumped the soft runner, Tipsy. And now that has... I mean, Julian is gonna be like rubbing his hands right now because he knows that his biggest opposition in this race has just been taken out of the...
Yep, absolutely right. He's also got a big lead as well from Hugo's as Astro Boy's really struggling as they're going to pit. Who's going to pit? Tipsy pits, Danny pits, Popo pits as well. Astro Boys decides not to pit, but he's going to have a bunch of cars all the way behind him now. Where did Astro go? Astro lagged back, which is probably just about for the best as far as those cars in front are concerned. All of them battling. It's Gary and Cozzy. Cozzy down the inside into turn 2.
Oh, there was contact between NJJ and Astro Boys. Astro got a hit up the rear, and NJJ had to take evasive action. I mean, he was the one running into Astro's back, so not the cleanest of starts, to be honest. Cozzy and Light Cruiser, those two fighting into the hairpin right now. It looks like Cozzy's got the better of it. So he's up into P4. Good start from him as well. And this, this is a very unforeseen change of events, to be honest. I know that Iceman's got damage. Copy's definitely had damage before he pitted. Iceman, I think, got turned around as well somehow, and then he straight lined into the car of Copy there.
Yeah, well, he certainly pitted. He, Danny, Tipsy, and Copy all pitting on that.
Max Spiltz! Max Spiltz is around, and that was coming through the Mobile 1 corner, and well, he's out of this for the moment. His tires are going to be absolutely hot now, and Popo with the drive-through, did he already serve that?
Oh yeah, of course. No, he's still. I guess that's why he pitted at the end of lap 1. Yeah, that does make sense. So Popo serving that drive-through. Bant's pitting as well for medium tires. Presumably he picked up damage somewhere in those first couple of laps. So all sorts of carnage at the beginning. But the situation up front is that Hugo's is under attack here from Pretorius into the hairpin. Pretorius making that move look pretty straightforward, and I think he's going to have that one done for the time being. Of course, DRS now enabled. Luigi up the inside of Bascodino as well in the hairpin, and that fight for 4th place between Cozzy and Light Cruiser and Gary to some extent as well rages on.
Oh, Astro on Bascodino, and it looks like a move done already. On the other hand, Bascodino still got his nose in there, on side by side, and yeah, respect given there now. As Bascodino gets squeezed a little bit off, but I think that was all fair. So Astro's up into P8. He's got some work to do if he wants to work himself up the order.
Yeah, still got that damage, of course, so that won't be helping his cause, but seems to be driving through it for the time being without too many problems.
Do we stick up? Oh yeah, he's missing his right end plate, and
yeah, you can see the understeer.
I was about to say, in the fastest lap point reiterates that Pretorius looks quicker than Julian right now.
Yeah, he has closed in a little bit. He had DRS that last lap on Hugo's, so maybe that had something to do with it. But yeah, he certainly does look fast, doesn't he, Pretorius? As Light Cruiser now is going to get Cozzy very easily down the back straight. And Pretorius and Hugo's again swapping positions. What happened there? Hugo's went off track. Didn't see exactly what happened. Did he outbrake himself?
Astro Boys losing a bit out. There's actually a 3-way fight for P8 here with NJJ, Astro and Bascodini, and that looked dicey. Now we're coming basically to the same situation as last lap. Will Bascodini have another look down the inside here? This time he can't. NJJ slots in behind the two of them. And yeah, Astro remains in P8, but it's just like so hard to get anywhere if you've got people in DRS. You have to do constant defending, and you're really a sitting duck on the straights. So the fact that Astro is 3 seconds behind the next car is just massively disadvantageous for him, as we've lost Icewind.
Oh no, Icewind
has slowed down there and retires. I don't know if that was deliberate. Let's hope there's not a safety car for that.
Yep, fingers crossed. We've already had one VSC after that first lap incident. It doesn't look like we're going to get a safety car this time. Nobody's around.
NJJ on Bascodino into turn 1, but he goes out of it. Yeah, I thought. Don't do that. You'd be a maniac to try that. And
well, he's down the inside into turn 2, but the issue for him is that Bascodino is going to get DRS here as well. No,
he's behind him.
He's within a second of Astro Boys, though. No, maybe
he doesn't open his DRS. It's not open.
It might be that it's not working then. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be...
Because he
Well,
certainly...
NJJ had DRS though. So...
Yeah. But
Oh, right,
Bascodinho should have as well,
That's
because he
true.
was within a second of
True.
Astro. So I think maybe his DRS is broken. As Danny
Oh, that'd
getting
be
past
such a
Max.
shame. I can relate. DRS broke at Baku.
Yeah, it's going to happen to most people, I would say, at some point in this season.
Oh, NJJ down the inside in the Mobile 1 corner. That is such a... Oh, wow. Wow, they made it through.
Yeah, they
credit to
certainly
them.
did. Astro having to yield.
Yeah.
So up front, Julian leading Pretorius as Pretorius gets
no.
3 seconds. So that sort of puts paid to that charge a little bit. Pretorius 1.7 now behind Julian. Has been holding the gap for the last few laps, but certainly picking up those warnings, and 3 seconds is a steep price to pay for corner cuts this early in the race, as Luigi is going to pass Gary here down the back straight into the hairpin.
They're in good positions. I think, yeah, this is probably one of the best shots they've had all season to score some points. Massive crunch at the start of the race, and they look on pace, both of them, coming up to, or relatively close to causing Light Cruise. Another thing worth mentioning is the fact that Pretorius, he has picked up a penalty, but he's also managed to clear Yugos from his DRS, which is a massive achievement. Yugos isn't a slow guy, for sure. I mean, last week they were fighting all the time, were similar on pace, and this time he's been able to clear him out of that 1 second window and Hockenheim, where it's so important and so hard to do that. It's a massive credit to him.
Yep, absolutely right. Hugo's 1.3 behind. Hugo's my teammate for the forthcoming 2SRL Assetto Corsa Competizione League. Join the 2SRL Discord if you're interested in participating in that one.
We've lost someone, it's NJJ!
NJJ.
And
Well,
he's done a Charles Leclerc cosplay. He
yeah,
actually managed to dig himself out of the gravel.
didn't see what happened, but NJJ all the way down now in P11 and has lost touch with this lead group. We got a really strung out race, given that it's only lap 7. The Popo in P10 is 20 seconds behind Julian in P1. Danny gets himself 3 seconds. He's recovering after that lap 1 pit stop. But we mentioned before, Hugo's in a very good position here. He's got 4 seconds on Light Cruiser, doesn't have a penalty yet. And Pretorius in front of him does have a penalty, so very good situation for Hugo's to be in that Toro Rosso. He'll be hoping that there's not a safety car between now and the end of the race.
And Tipsy Bob clears Max spills.
And so does Bance. And oh no, Bance spinning though! Oh dear.
Was he shoved? And I mean, he's got.
I don't know. Oh, and he's lost a wheel as well. And we might get a safety car. We get a VSC.
We do, VSC. And is it pit time already? I mean, yeah, normal pit win is like lap 14, I think. This is 6 laps early. It could drag cards, but I guess no one out of the top guys is really in the position to pit.
Astro
Maybe
pitting.
someone behind.
Yeah, Astro taking the opportunity to fix his wing as well, I would imagine. So into the pits he goes.
I'd have done the same. It's probably for the best.
A couple other drivers as well. Bascodinho, NJJ, both pitting. NJJ, I think, was damaged too.
No, he didn't lose anything.
Okay.
Oh, Astro
We're racing
got
again.
out there.
And Luigi and Cozzy battling down the back straight. Luigi with the DRS. Cozzy having to back out of that one. Luigi did manage to get it stopped for the hairpin. So good stuff from him. So what have we got now? Bascodinho, having just pitted, is just behind Tipsy, who's on the medium tyres. He's, of course, going to need to pit before the end of the race as well. But Cozzy now trailing Luigi. The front 7, none of the front 7 pitted. And then after the front 7, there's a huge gap to Popo. 11 seconds now. As Max and Astro Boys doing battle now out of the hairpin. This is for P13 on the road. Copy now ahead of Astro Boys. Of course, those two came together at the front of the grid on lap 1. As Light Cruiser gets himself 3 seconds as well. So Light Cruiser, the latest of the front runners to get a penalty. Pretorius already has one. Julian Hugos do not. once again down this back straight. Lap 9 now of 34. Been such a lot of incident already in this Tier 1 race.
Oh, a little bump between Cozzy and Luigi. IL, that would have been a puncture here. It is not. It's also no wing damage for Cozzy, if I saw that right, which is good. He's, I mean, to be honest, Luigi and Cozzy right now are. It looks like Cozzy's using. I mean, Cozzy's using Luigi to be pulled along here across the circuit. He is just in the back seat, and he's got 100% of ERS, while Luigi has got 40 to his name. I think if I was Cozzy, I'd get close to the point now where I'd try and do something about that. Maybe try and get in front and maybe run some ERS. On the other hand, he does not know how much ERS Luigi has.
Yep, no, he certainly doesn't. Astro Boy's passing Copy. Astro Boy's with a tyre advantage in that battle. Astro Boy's up to P12 now on track. But yeah, Cozzy just losing touch a little bit with Luigi now. 8/10 is the gap. He will have DRS this time, but certainly at the moment he looks like he's struggling to stay with that Williams. While Astro Boy is homing in now on the back of Bascodino for 11th place. And Tipsy is not too far ahead of those two either. And JJ gets himself 3 more seconds. Up front, Hugos is almost in DRS now of Pretorius. 1.2 is the gap between those two. Julian 2.4 ahead of Pretorius. So got a 5-second gap all the way back down to Light Cruiser. Astro Boys passes Bascodino. And Cozzy now out of DRS of Luigi, so that battle looks like it has been resolved. They come through to start lap 11 of 34. Copy getting the move done there on Bascodino by the looks of it. Basco just backing out of it, I think, there as they head into the Model 1 curve and then the Sachs curve. And Luigi now... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, the joke's actually on Cozzy now, because he's not got his... well, now Luigi has got Light Cruiser, so he's got DRS, and he's lost it himself. I guess he should have used more ERS early on to stay within that gap, but yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to check the past results for Cozzy and Luigi. I think they are both running in heights.
Yep, I think this is their highest position, certainly, that they've been in so far. Luigi has been on stream a couple of times to say that he's always disappointed when he ends up 9th or 10th after these races. We've got a golden opportunity this time to go a little bit better than that. He's on the back now of Light Cruiser, and certainly by the looks of it, he's got the pace on that McLaren.
Yeah, both only with 1 points finish, and that's a P9 for both of them. But Cozzy obviously only here since Austria, where he DNF'd, and Luigi's got 2 DNFs, 2 P11s, and 1 P9 to his name. So this, whatever position he's going to take in this fight really would be a great relief for him, especially after what happened in qualifying to him, which is just absolutely comical. And that is so...
Here he goes then on Light Cruiser. I think he probably is going to be alongside into the hairpin if he wants it. Doesn't look like he wants it. Gonna have a look, and it's a
half
semi-send, wasn't it?
Half committed. Well, Light Cruiser certainly felt the pressure from that, I'd imagine. So what I think is gonna happen, or should happen here, is Luigi should probably just be dragged along by Light Cruiser for 2 more laps, and then try and pit in lap 13, hope that it's an undercut, and then just use all of the ERS on the out lap and hope that you can get out of that, or past him and out of the window. It's ambitious, but like that's probably what I'd attempt to do here.
Yep, I think that's absolutely right. Luigi on those medium tyres. He will be switching to the hards within probably the next 2 or 3 laps, I would have thought. The leader's now starting lap 13. And the hards tend to go around about 20 laps. So this is sort of the... this is about when you want to be pitting, the next 2 or 3 laps.
Again, he's saving ERS right now, and he's putting the heat on there. Both are equal on ERS. I wonder if there's gonna be an undercut. I mean, first to blink, but Luigi actually goes into overtake, so ERS saving is not the name of the game for him. Again, he has a look to the inside, but again, he doesn't commit to it, which is better from the position he's in. I wonder if Kozzy can somehow get himself into that work pit strategy. Who of them is going to pit at the end of this lap? Is anyone going to pit at the end of this lap, or is it too early yet?
I think this is like the earliest lap that you could consider pitting. If you just do a normal scheduled pit stop, it depends on circumstance. If you want to try and get an undercut, then now is maybe the time to pit. We might see someone like Hugo's do that, who's just out of DRS range at the moment on Pretorius, but nope, he decides to go into the lap. In fact, Pretorius does pit himself, so he is the first of the front runners to do.
And Luigi does it.
And
He
Luigi does as well.
the pit. The undercut does give you some time.
Oh, Luigi, 5 seconds.
But it doesn't give you time if you do it like that.
No, so bad luck for Luigi. He slowed down a little bit too early, first of all, and then when he realized that he was going too slowly, he sped up again, which ended up being a fatal mistake for him. Astro Boy's on the back of Tipsy now. Tipsy not going to dive into the pits on those medium tyres just yet. Popo also pitted to put the hard tyres on. He's P9 at the moment, about to be overtaken though I think by these two. So Astro backing off for the time being. It does have a full battery, and he's going to be looking to get this move done here on Tipsy Bob, as Tipsy runs into the inside a little bit, but Astro will get that move done pretty easily. His Copy is now also vulnerable, or Tipsy now also vulnerable to Copy. Copy looks like he might just get that move done, although he didn't get the traction out of the hairpin, so Tipsy keeps the position for now, as Julian and Hugo's both pit from the lead and second place respectively. Hugo's was slowed down very nicely. Light Cruiser and Kozzy also both pitting. So Gary assumes the lead of the race. He's just ahead of Pretorius, who's on those fresh tyres. And where is Hugo's going to come out? Hugo's is going to come out some way behind Pretorius. In fact, Pretorius has jumped Julian? What on earth happened there?
What?
How much
they're
time?
running side by side, actually.
They are. So Julian is ahead, but only barely. What on earth happened there? How did Pretorius make up that amount of time? I guess Julian's pit stop was just slow. I don't know.
Maybe he gets held by someone, and also
Maybe, I don't know.
Also, Pretorius is basically out of battery, while Julian isn't. So I assume he must have full committed on that lap, just as he should. Julian will try and get away from Pretorius here, but maybe Pretorius...
Oh, Light Cruiser and Luigi. Luigi gets 3 seconds for
Not
cutting
again.
the inside of the right-hander, and Light Cruiser gets the better of that. There was definite contact between the two of them, though, which they got away with. Meanwhile, Gary still leads. He's about to be besieged, though, unless he dives into the pits, which he does. It's a sensible thing for him to do. Don't want to lose time being overtaken by the leaders on much better tyres, as Julian does resume the lead of the race, but Pretorius now with the DRS advantage. Of course, he's got the 3-second penalty as well, so he's got that to contend with. So even if he does manage to get Julian on track, he needs to pull out 3 seconds as well.
Yeah, we're in an interesting situation for the race win right now. Basically, as soon as Julian checks penalties, which I assume he's probably done over the past laps, but Pretorius was trailing him, he's going to be aware of the penalty, and Julian is running without a warning so far. So
And, Luigi and Light Cruiser almost coming together there. I think there was a little bit of a misunderstanding. Light Cruiser covering the outside when Luigi was looking to go to the inside. In fact, let's get a replay of that, shall we? You can see in the picture-in-picture. Hopefully this is working. As never mind, it's not working. Okay, well, that's no replays for us today. Apologies. What on earth happened there? I'm just going to alt-tab very quickly to see exactly why.
At least it didn't show us a replay and then infinitely loop it.
Save replay. Well, I don't know. But yeah, in any case, no replays. Apologies. As once again, we see Julian do the fastest lap of the race. Light Cruiser and Luigi. Replay is kill. Yeah, afraid so. Sorry, folks. As
I knew
Luigi and
who wrote that.
There's Pretorius now right on the back of Julian once again. Not quite close enough this time though by the looks of things. He's just going to be looking to save some ERS, I would imagine, down the straight. Luigi though, once again on the back of Light Cruiser and maybe thinking about a move here. He is in full overtake mode. Light Cruiser covering the inside this time. And Luigi out braking him, but going a little bit deep. Still side by side between the two of them, and Luigi does get that move done. So Luigi up to 4th for now. The good thing for Pretorius about being in Julian's DRS is that he can now pull away from Hugo's, and with that 3-second penalty, he does need 3 seconds on that Toro Rosso if he's going to keep the 2nd place, and that's exactly what he's got right now. Hugo's with the slightly better tyres, but Pretorius with the DRS, which will be a pretty big advantage for him.
Yeah, the way Pretorius wins this race is just by holding on and hoping that there's gonna be penalties for Julian, but the problem is the way Julian wins this race is by staying ahead, and if not staying ahead, then yeah, letting Pretorius overtake him and then just stay within the DRS, so, and not get penalties, and he's gonna be aware of the situation, so there's no real need for him to push as long as he manages to stay within 3 seconds of Pretorius. But right now we're far from that because he's still ahead.
Yep.
If Julian manages to keep us calm, which I assume he'll be able to do because he's a very good driver, then I think he's got an absolute high ground on Pretorius, but the last word hasn't been spoken here, so things are not done and dusted yet.
Yep, absolutely right. Copy and Astro Boys
Copy.
battling. Yep. These two have been together all race. They were a little too close to each other on the first lap. With Astro Boys spinning out Copy. So Astro Boys back to the inside again.
Oh no, and there goes, luckily! And Popo gets held up behind a little, and he'd like to get past, but there's no chance for him to do that. Copy on the hunt for some consolidation points after his crash early on, which, to be honest, he was quite responsible for by the sounds of it.
Yep, I think he probably was.
No, never mind, Astro was.
Astro Boys was, yeah.
Yeah, Copy wasn't. He wasn't responsible for that crash, and he's gonna lose out to Julian in the championship massively. The gap right now is 27 points. Julian has got himself 26 points lined up right now. Astro goes wide in turn 1 because he's got the fastest lap point, and he's also in the lead of this race. So
as Luigi goes very, very deep into the hairpin there. Light Cruiser did manage to get past. Didn't see if there was any contact between the two of them. There might have been. Otherwise, they both just outbroke themselves, which is possible, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, as Popo just runs into the back of Astro Boys in the hairpin there as well. So it's all happening on track at the moment. The gap between Pretorius and Hugo's now 3.2. As Hugo's fighting back just a little bit there. And Pretorius just needs to hang on to the back of Julian's DRS. If he can do that, he's going to get all of that juicy free lap time, and despite the tyre disadvantage, he's going to be able to pull away. So here we go between, again, Light Cruiser and Luigi. Luigi saving ERS behind Light Cruiser for the time being. He's maybe going to attack as Popo gets himself 3 more seconds. Copy does, in fact, pit, so Copy couldn't go to the end of the race. He's going to have to pit for fresh, probably mediums.
I guess safety car is the only chance he's going to get.
Yep.
And he knows, I guess he knows that. And Light Cruiser and Luigi are still at it. Once again, it's a little bit of Groundhog Day for these two. It's the same picture every lap, sometimes with all the cars in front. And now they're fighting towards the Mercedes chicane with the McLaren on the inside. Can he make it stick this time? No, he can't. Luigi's carrying more speed around the outside. Light Cruiser now on the inside, and they're gonna head towards Mobile 1. One has to pull out of this, surely, and it is Luigi. He's going wide a little bit, so respect given from Luigi. He is not forcing a collision or anything here, and he hangs back and is in P5 again. He knows he's gonna get to strike once again next lap. The only thing mattering is stay on track for the rest of the race. Don't get penalties, and if nobody has penalties, be the one who crosses the finish line first. Doesn't matter if you're in the lead at the start of lap 21. No one's gonna ask for that if you're not in the lead at the end of the race. So fair for him if he sticks behind enough time to do it.
Yep, absolutely right. Tipsy pits from the medium tyres. He's probably going to put another set of mediums on, I would have thought. Maybe he'll go softs to the end of the race from here. You can't do softs on 13 laps. Yeah, it's another set of mediums for him. Gap between Pretorius and Hugo is now 4.4, so that fight looks like it's basically over. Pretorius is managing to hang on to Julian's DRS.
Popo down the inside of Astra, and he's leaving the team amount of space, 4 cowards at least. Maybe a little scared after he saw turn 2. No, and he's getting the move done and was good. He's got a 5-lap tire advantage, or a 6-lap tire advantage even, on Astra Boys. So maybe he's in a position to try and pull away now. He has got 80% of ERS, whereas Astra's got only 40, so maybe Popo can use that now and get out of that DRS run and get the Mercedes out of your rearview mirror.
Yep, that's possible. It's
a hard task.
He's got Danny ahead of him, who I think will have to pit between now and the end of the race. He's on 20-lap old hards.
Oh, Luigi, I saw that. He went off track in turn 1, and that happens. He's just pushing so hard.
Yep, he and Light Cruz are still battling really hard, so he's going to try once again, I think, to make a move here. It might be a little bit too far back this time. He's going to use all of his battery to try and do it, though. And now he backs off, so no move to be had this time around.
Sad thing for Luigi is the fact that he's got 11 seconds of penalties to his name. He spit in the pit lane. He got 2 penalties for going off track, and that would, assuming no one else got penalties, which is definitely not true, would put him in P8 behind Gary, ahead of Popo. Still would be his best result, but it's not what you'd hope for if you're fighting for P4 all race.
Yep, absolutely right. Cozzy is still there. He's only 2 seconds behind. With Light Cruiser and Luigi fighting this hard, he's not had to push all that hard to stay within a couple of seconds of them. Popo and Astro still together on track, 9th and 10th. Meanwhile up front, half a second now the gap between Julian and Pretorius, and Hugo's is falling away from Pretorius, as you would expect given the DRS, so 5 seconds now is the gap, and with 3 seconds of penalties for Pretorius, what he really will need to do is make sure he doesn't get another penalty, and he's going to be absolutely fine for that second place. Here goes Luigi again, down the inside. Copy does the fastest lap of the race on the medium tyres.
And yeah, Luigi keeps it in front for the moment.
Well, Light Cruiser does, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and he outbrakes himself.
Oh, well, that's not how you keep anything in front, especially not your car. Luigi goes past this time, but it's only going to give Light Cruiser DRS on the next lap, to be honest. Luigi must be sick of this fight. It's just costing him time lap after lap again. On the other end, he's got DRS, which is quite handy.
Yeah, these two have not really been taking advantage of the fact that they're running together. They've been fighting instead of working together, which has meant that Cozzy is still only a couple of seconds behind. And that's bad news for Luigi in particular, who has a penalty, and now Light Cruiser has a penalty as well.
Yeah, it's a second penalty as well. Meanwhile, Cozzy in a provisional P4 because he doesn't have any penalty. He's on 1 warning, so
yeah, good stuff from Cozzy.
He can allow himself at least 1 more mistake, maybe even 2 if it was a collision warning, which I doubt. But so he's looking good, better than Luigi and Light Cruiser right now, even though his pace seems to be just behind the one of the 2 up ahead.
Yep, certainly seems like it. Pretorius, they're doing the sensible thing. He's trailing Julian. He looks like he's struggling to hang onto the back of Julian a little bit, but he's still in that DRS, which is the important thing. Now the gap to Hugo's is nearly 6 seconds. And then it's 8 seconds back from Hugo's to this battle here for 4th, which we've been watching for the last few laps. It's been the best action on track as Tipsy passes Bascodinho heading into the hairpin. So 10 laps to go for the leaders, and been plenty of incident in this German Grand Prix. We saw that lap 1 crash that accounted for, as Light Cruiser gets it all wrong in turn 1, goes very wide. Thankfully hangs on to the car though. But Copy and Astro Boys both knocked out by that lap 1 crash. Tipsy Bob, who was at the front as well on the soft tyres, also knocked down. Only Astro Boys of those drivers in the points now as Light Cruiser goes to the outside of Luigi into the hairpin. These two battling once again, and Light Cruiser does have the move done, and up to 4th place on track he goes, even if only temporarily. And they're dropping Cozzy a little bit now as well. Cozzy down to 3.7 seconds behind Luigi, which means that he's in front of Light Cruiser, who's got 6 seconds, but he's not in front of Luigi, who only has 3, I believe. So Luigi, at the moment, on course for P4. So this race just ambling to a conclusion. We still don't know whether Danny is going to have to pit again. He's on those 24-lap-old hard tyres. He is keeping the pace up in that Ferrari to an impressive extent, as we see Luigi fly by us from Light Cruiser's perspective. But Danny's tyres might not hold. He's going to have to do, what, a 32-lap stint on those hards.
I don't think they're going to last. In the Tier 2 race, Kirst did 24 laps on the mediums, and at the end of it, they were at 90% tire when he was lucky enough to get a puncture. So, I mean, I don't think if you're gonna do 8 more laps on those hards, or no, yeah, 8 more laps than that on the hard tire, I don't think you're gonna be able to not be in the puncture territory, which of course starts at 75% tire wear. I think he's going to pit and get himself some softs and hope that he might be able to get a point or something, which looks unlikely, to be honest. He would come up behind Copy in P13, at P12 actually, and so either he's gonna do that, or he's just gonna drive home and gamble. Hope that, not a single tire pops. Hope that he doesn't bin it while his tires desperately want him to bin it. And one of these 2 paths is what he's going to do. And,
absolutely right. I think he probably has to stay out. Otherwise, as you mentioned, he probably doesn't get any points. Whereas at the moment he's in P7, and that's a good position for him to be in, as Light Cruiser goes again to the inside as they head into the Mobile 1 curve, and a little bit of contact between the two of them once again. Ooh. Luigi on the inside, got to be very careful there doing that. You don't want the side pod contact. These two fighting very, very hard with 8 laps to go in this race.
Yeah, it's the magic of Hockenheim. If you've got 2 drivers that are like within, let's say, like 3/10 of pace with each other, they're going to be glued to each other all race unless there's some strategy involved. And but it's exactly what we're seeing right now from Luigi and Light Cruiser.
Oh, and 3 more seconds for Luigi.
We're at 14 now. And
of course, he's got the 5 seconds as well. Yeah, I've forgotten about that.
And Astro.
Yeah.
So he's, he's going to have to hope to get some points. He's, penalty for Astro Boys is going to make it easier, but he's had an absolutely great showing. Now he's showing himself alongside the car of Light Cruiser, and down the inside he goes. It's quite the easy overtake there every single lap, and he's made it once again.
Yep, certainly is. So Luigi, well, he's going to be the minor points position for him, I'm afraid. Julian and Pretorius, though, up front, pretty much running away with this race. 6.7 now the gap between Pretorius and Hugo in third. And Hugo, I haven't seen too much of him on track, but he is having a fantastic race. He's in Costa's Toro Rosso, and certainly there hasn't been a Toro Rosso up near the front this season so far until now. And Hugo looks like he is going to get that podium. As Light Cruiser gets 3 seconds as well, so these two fighting hard enough that they are not only slowing each other down, but also giving each other penalties. With 6 laps to go in this race, here comes Light Cruiser again. Luigi covering the inside this time. And for the umpteenth time in this race, they go side by side into the hairpin. Oh my goodness, Light Cruiser.
That's not how it usually looks.
Nope. You don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, got hooked into the rear tires of Luigi there, not almost at his car, and managed to catch it though. So he's still in the running for this. And Cozzy's been pushing over the last few laps, I'd assume, because he's got only 15% of ERS remaining. And he hasn't really closed in on them. I guess the DRS that they are sharing up front is just too strong, or he's not quite got that pace, but he doesn't need to at the moment. I'm gonna check his penalties. I think he's at 1 warning still, or I mean, he's definitely not got a penalty.
Yep, I've certainly not seen a penalty. So he is good for P4 at the moment. He's well clear of everyone. Danny gets himself 3 seconds.
It's not gonna make it easy. Yeah, it's also a fact if your tires are gonna decline, which they are. It's got double the tire of anyone else, I'd imagine. So yeah, I mean, you go wider, you slide a little, you make mistakes, you go off track, you collect warnings. That's just how it goes usually. Light Cruiser's overtaken Luigi once again.
Yep, Light Cruiser at the inside into the hairpin. Light Cruiser at the moment, I think, looking good for P5. Luigi's out of the running completely, of course, with that 5-second pit lane penalty.
Yeah. Cynical people would now say that the same DRS overtake for the 15th time is not as exciting for as the first one is. But we're not cynical here, so good that there's a fight on board, on track. We can follow.
Yep, providing us with plenty of entertainment, which is good to see. 4 laps to go up front. Pretorius now all over the back of Julian. I wonder if he's going to try and take a turn ahead, or if he's just going to be content to sit behind. He doesn't really have the battery to push, so no, he's perfectly content just to sit exactly where he is. He's got an 8-second gap now over Hugo's, as we have yellows in turn 3. I think that was NJJ. Didn't exactly see what happened with him. As Light Cruiser and Luigi once again into the hairpin side by side, as Luigi gets the inside line this time. Light Cruiser trying the cutback. And 4 laps to go, and the positioning and the jockeying for position might start to matter quite soon, or at least it would if this was an actual real battle, but of course it's not with the penalty situation.
Let's continue with the penalty, but it's not gonna matter. I'm gonna check penalties. Is copy maybe on for at least a point?
Could be. Yep, I don't know.
Well, I mean... Oh, wow. Copy has got a warning.
Copy's got a warning. That's...
I did not see that coming.
That's 1 warning more than Copy usually gets.
Julian has also got a warning.
Okay. So Max gets himself 3 seconds. He's already a lap down, though, unfortunately, on the leaders. Pretorius. Oh, as Julian drifts it into the hairpin there. That wasn't...
I've seen him do that multiple times now.
How he would have wanted to do that.
The issue for Copy is the fact that Astro and Popo both have a singular penalty, and he is 6 or 7 seconds, or even 8 if I could calculate, behind the two of them, so he would have to close 5 seconds, and unfortunately that's not gonna happen. So I guess Copy would actually be without points today. Julian, with the fastest lap point, could close in 26 points in the championship, which is huge because the gap is 27 points.
Yep, that's absolutely right. Although I do wonder, with Astro Boys having caused that first lap crash, whether he might be getting some more penalties from the FIA. We'll have to wait and see. But that certainly is a possibility as we start the penultimate lap now of this race. Pretorius still in Julian's DRS and just able to hang in there for the time being. 8.7 seconds is the gap to Hugo's in P3, who is going to finish P3. Doesn't have any penalties at all. It's just been taking it relatively easy for most of the race, I think. In this battle between Luigi and Light Cruiser, looks like it might be settled fairly soon, with Light Cruiser struggling to hang on to Luigi. Luigi still half a second in front. Light Cruiser outbraking himself a tiny bit into the hairpin there. And Popo and Astro still running together. Danny's tyres have held for the time being at least. See how he's doing on traction. Whether he's able to make it to the end of the race. It would have been a 33 lap stint. He pitted the end of lap 1. Did Danny put the hard tyres on, and he's going to try and go to the end of the race on those hard tyres.
Gonna keep an eye out for it. I wonder if Pretorius is gonna try and overtake Julian here.
Oh,
It's the last lap of the race, might as well try and finish ahead on track.
Yeah, I think he's going.
He's certainly tried, but Julian's also defending. But maybe we will get a change for the lead. Pretorius goes to the outside, so he has to outbrake Julian, go the longer way around the outside, but it doesn't happen, so Julian keeps his lead, which is, of course, not only the lead on track, he also stays ahead as Copy gets the fastest lap, so no extra point for Julian. I guess he's taken a point away at last.
This is the one that matters between Light Cruiser and Luigi. Luigi on the inside, but Light Cruiser has the run on the exit, and I think Light Cruiser is going to get that by the looks of things. It would need to be a brave overtake. Astro and Popo also fighting into the hairpin.
Oh, Astro's gone massively off track now.
Oh dear. Oh, and he gets 3 more seconds.
And maybe...
That put him behind Copy. Crossing the line is Julian to win the race. Pretorius with the 3-second penalty finishes second as Bascodino picks up a penalty. Hugo's crosses the line. Very good result for him. A podium for Hugo's. Finishes P3 on track. And Light Cruiser following behind Luigi as well. Half a second behind him. Cozzy is now 6 seconds behind this little battle, which I think means that Light Cruiser is going to get P4. If only barely. No, never mind, because Light Cruiser had 9 seconds of penalties. So Cozzy does get the P4 that he wanted. Danny's tyres do hold.
Nice run. P6.
Yep. Good stuff from Gary. And yeah, Popo, he and Popo both jump Danny. Copy does get a point based on the finishing order, and certainly he gets a point, another point for the fastest lap as well at the end of that race. So Copy getting 2 points from what was otherwise a very disappointing day for him. But no doubt as to who the winner was today. It was, in fact, Julian.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good race. Unfortunately, the first lap crash has kind of torn the field up a little. So cars were spread around track. We still had some very nice battles to watch. It wasn't the most eventful race Hockenheim has ever seen, but it also certainly wasn't boring. I wasn't bored at any point. Sometimes it happens, but it didn't today. So I think it was a good race.
Yeah,
and we've seen some very good performances from us drivers.
Yeah, it sort of meandered towards the conclusion, didn't it? But we certainly had entertainment all the way down the field. There are the podium drivers. And who are we going to give driver of the day to, I wonder? I would certainly say, if we didn't give it to him last week, I would give it to Hugo's. We gave it to him last week, so maybe Cozzy is the person who deserves it the most of those who haven't had a driver of the day yet. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
So I was gonna say Pretorius with honorable mentions for Yugas and Kosi. Pretorius has actually never had a driver of the day, and today,
Oh, really?
I think he stepped up his game well. And
Okay.
I mean, he's been, apart from that penalty, which he got, like, I think in the first 4 laps or something, after that he's been driving really cleanly and staying within that range of Julian. And
Yeah,
I mean,
that is true.
he
He
had a
drove a very
genuine shot
smart
at
race.
winning. I think he would have been certainly more aggressive towards the end had he not had that penalty. So we won't find out what would have happened otherwise. But I think it is finally time, and if he didn't deserve it today, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough. It's one of those things with Pretorius that I just think of him as a front runner now. So I figured we probably would have
That's a
given
good
him
sign.
driver of the day at some point. But
just-
if we haven't, then yeah, I would absolutely agree that he is the person to deserve it the most. So that was tier 1, and we're going to see now as oh, there we go. Let's there we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? Let's see if we can get anyone into the interview channel for us today. We're gonna keep this relatively short and sweet today, I think. But we have Luigi, and Luigi I think is a good person to talk to first of all, because we saw that battle at the end, well, through most of the race, to be honest, with Light Cruiser Luigi, and that looked like a fun battle to be part of. And I guess the shame for you is that with the penalty situation being what it was, you didn't get rewarded for it in maybe the way you would have liked.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, Luigi.
Sorry, I was away from the mic.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, yeah, that battle with Light Cruiser. How was that battle with Light Cruiser? It looked fun.
It looked fun, but it wasn't. Because
Oh,
it
dear.
cost me a bunch of penalties.
Yeah, it certainly did.
And one of them was, he kind of pushed me off track, and I got a penalty for that. Yeah.
Oh dear.
That I couldn't record it, obviously, because I'm fighting. So that's kind of, that's really annoying. So, man, I mean, I would have gone from 14 seconds to 11 seconds. Yeah, really bad, really bad. A lot of penalties. Turn 1 is death. Really, really annoying. But I'm still kind of happy because I've had so much bad luck in this league.
Also
lately.
qualifying.
Yeah, qualifying was another example. I was about to quit, man. I was about to quit. Like, I posted in general. It's just ridiculous what happened to me. It's just ridiculous.
I can confirm.
It's a game bug, Like, it's not my fault. I don't deserve this.
Yeah.
What have I done?
It's unfortunate, but I mean, F1 took, but F1 also gave with the lap 1 situation. You got all the way to the front. I guess based on that, did you get caught up in the crash at all, or was it? Did you manage to make your way through?
I managed to make my way through. No damage. Can you believe this? I survived turn 1, guys.
Well, it's I think you ended up, was it 6th or 7th?
Yeah,
Something like
7th.
that. 7th.
Man,
So
I really wanted to get P4, man.
yeah,
I would have
yeah.
fought a lot harder if I didn't have any penalties, but it's Arcanine, what can you do? Track
Yeah.
limits are a joke on this track.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, you certainly weren't the only driver to get penalties. So Julian says he's gonna pee, and then we're gonna talk to Julian. So we got a little bit of time before we can talk to him.
Alright.
But yeah, P7. I mean, is that your best result this season? I feel like you've had a couple of results where you've sort of
Yeah,
been
it
in
is.
or around P7. It is okay.
I think P10 was my best before this.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I just want to show my pace, but I get so unlucky that I don't really get the chance. I guess today was a bit of an opportunity. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it was pretty fun. Yeah, hopefully, next race. What is it? What's after Germany? Is it Spa?
No, we
right.
because we're doing weird stuff, right? It's Monaco.
Yes, it is Monaco.
Yeah, Monaco
Sorry,
next.
what?
So yeah, it's Monaco next. So
What?
because yeah, there was a mid-season change, I believe.
Hey,
Yes, there
can they not do simulation damage at Monaco? That would ruin it.
Yeah, we're not doing simulation damage. We're doing full
We're just doing full
There you
damage.
go.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's the way it is.
I'm taking part. I'm pretty good at Monaco, but then my problem is quali.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna have to do a great lap.
I really love Monaco races, honestly. In F1 2019, they feel different in a way that's really cool, I think.
Well, I'll sweat it. I'm pretty good in Monaco. I've got a really, I'm pretty. I don't do a lot of mistakes. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not gonna say too much before the bad luck strikes again. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got some good points today, so you got a little bit of a points haul.
but they're gonna be removed because a lot of incidents with my all the stuff that happened this season, and I've got like 20 points to be removed. So.
Okay. Well, in any case,
it's
that's
still fun. I'm training.
Well, if nothing else, you got a lot of camera time today, because of that battle with Light Cruiser. So you can enjoy that maybe. I don't know.
Yay!
Alright,
Did you guys catch that quality thing?
No,
unfortunately
Timo
not.
told us afterwards what happened.
It's on general, dude. I give you guys the privilege to upload it on Nigel.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see exactly what that was. Yeah, check out
We'll just
general
use it as
discussions
the
for that
intro
one.
for the next race.
Yeah, good idea.
That's really a good idea. Just like some intense background music.
I'm going to
Yeah.
stretch it to 2 minutes and just replay it all the time. In different angles.
Well done on P7, and I'm going to put you back in the gentleman's lounge now.
Alright,
But
thank
thanks
you
for talking
guys.
to us. That was Luigi, and here is Julian, who has managed to shed his excess weight in the last couple of minutes by emptying his bladder. So he's fully refreshed and having won that race. How is that for you?
I don't know that I had to pee really badly during the race. It was very good. I mean, I don't know where my pace came from. I don't know what it is, but I didn't practice at all. Again, I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm not feeling too well, so I didn't bother to practice at all. So I just turned up. I had no setup, so I just put one on, and it felt alright and good enough to win. So I was driving around in the first stint, not really pushing, just driving my own pace, not getting penalties or any warnings. And then the pit stops came, and Pretorius undercut me, and he gained like 2.5 seconds on that lap. So
Yeah, what happened in the pit stop? I mean, because you were like 4 seconds ahead, something like that.
I was 2.6 ahead.
2.6 ahead. Okay, I guess that is sort of within range then. In that case, I thought
mean,
you
he
were
did
further ahead.
undercut me by a lot, but I also got held in the pits, but that didn't really affect me too much, I have to say. But
Yeah. Well, I think it affected him more because it gave him DRS for the rest of the race, which he used to very good effect. So he managed to get P2 from Hugo's. But yeah, I mean, did you see what happened on lap 1 behind you?
yeah,
Because suddenly from your perspective, you had an enormous lead, and you saw exactly what happened.
at that point I was already full throttle, and I was already turning and looking back when I was still in the corner. So I was looking back, and I saw everything happen, and I just couldn't stop laughing.
Oh dear, yeah. Yeah, we saw exactly what happened. It was Copy and Astro Boys getting together. There were definitely a few winners from that one. So and you were certainly one. You suddenly had a 3-second lead. So yeah, I mean the championship looks pretty good for you now, with Copy having suffered in that race a little bit. We have, I believe we have Monaco coming up, which is a little bit weird. We weren't expecting this sort of until the last couple of weeks, but Monaco is the next race. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, that's about it.
Well, because you didn't do the 2 SRL race, I remember.
Yeah.
At Monaco. So are we going to see you next week? You're going to do the SLR Monaco race?
It depends.
Okay. What does it
I mean,
depend on?
I don't expect anything to come up, but
Okay.
if someone asks me to do anything on that date, I'm definitely not gonna say no.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
mean, that's one way to have an excuse to not do Monaco, but
That's
no,
true, yeah,
Father,
yeah.
force me to mow the lawn, please.
no, but I should be there to race, yeah.
Okay, good stuff. All right, well, congratulations on the win today. It was a really good drive, and
thank you.
we will catch you hopefully next week. That was Julian who won the race today. We're gonna speak very briefly as well to Mr. Icewind, who unfortunately had an incident at the start of that race.
Yeah.
What happened,
I just saw Astro send it on Copy into turn 2. think it was Astro and Copy, and then it was Copy like sideways in there, and then 3 cars ahead of me just stopped. I had 2 cars on both of my sides, and I couldn't go anywhere. So I tried stopping on track, but I still lost my front wing. So
Oh dear. Yeah. You certainly weren't the
I
only
mean, I
one.
could have. The only thing I could have tried, but if you look at Hugo just posted this video, I could have turned right, but I think that would have also caused a massive pileup again. So I just tried stopping, but it wasn't enough. So
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was pretty unlucky. I mean, it was just one of those incidents
Yeah,
because it
it's
happened right in front of the pack of cars, and like everyone does.
yeah,
different
Copy
things.
sideways, and then Astro, Tipsy, and Danny
Yeah,
basically had to brake really hard, and I had nowhere to go.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, having said that, you showed in qualifying that you had decent pace around Hockenheim. That was
I kind of messed up my medium lap. That was a really bad lap because my hard lap was really good actually, but then
yeah, because you
on the
were on
mediums,
pole
I
for a
couldn't
little
really get
while.
anywhere.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
on pole for a little while on the hards. That looked really good.
Yeah, but then I tried I invalidated my first medium lap, then I did another hot lap, which was the one that I basically set on the board, and then I tried one more, but that didn't work. So yeah,
Yeah, fair
I don't know. I didn't practice at all. I've not really played for the last 1.5 weeks, so
Yeah. Well, you've
It's
been
alright.
away, right? You've been in Poland,
Yep.
drinking
Yep.
drinking lots of
Indeed.
vodka and various stuff and beer. So fair enough.
killing the coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's really good to have you back in any case, and commiserations on the lack of points today, but you'll be back
Yep.
at the front fairly soon, I'm sure.
Yep,
So,
time to pick up some new front wings next week in Monaco. I think that's what we're gonna do next.
Yeah, next week is Monaco. Yeah, I mean, you've had a couple of races at Monaco now with varying degrees of success.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I have decent race pace usually in Monaco, but I need to nail the qualifying better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
it's like Timo owned me into Israel.
That's true. Yeah. Well, Timo was the OP Renault
Yep.
to SRL. He was,
But you've done pretty well the last few races, haven't you, Tara?
yeah, I have. It's been quite nice. I've got pedals that work as well.
That maybe
helps
helps
a
a
lot.
bit.
Yeah, thanks to Dead Pixel, who's helped me out a lot there.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I'm doing all right. I unexpectedly had a very good race in Austria.
Okay.
Ended up P4, sort of best of the rest, which was nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We got Silverstone tomorrow, don't we? So
Yeah, I've been. How do you say it? Like, what's the word? Bands basically just gave me a Red Bull spot, so I'm probably gonna drive tomorrow.
oh,
so we'll see.
fantastic! Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a fun.
Well,
one.
it can't go much worse than today. So.
He told us that you would drive, and then he told us that you just had to find out now that you would drive.
Yeah,
So he
pretty much.
definitely took your feelings into consideration when giving you that seat, which is great. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I actually I think I rear-ended Vance in this race as well at the back of the field as well. But I think we both were like, I think he doesn't have really any hard feelings about that. He broke like super early, but I think he broke on the wrong marker or something, and I just
Oh, I see.
tapped him a bit. But yeah.
Well, rip.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, good to
onward
talk to
to
you.
the next one.
Yeah, it's been good to have you. Good to have you back, and good to have you back in the interview lounge.
Yep.
For this one. Oh, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you. Do you have ACC, and are you interested in the 2S league? Because
I actually don't have it, but I mean, if I can get it cheap, I might consider something like a commentary spot again.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
That would be good. Yeah.
I'm really not very good on those GT3 cars.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a very. I'm sure you are. Yeah.
I'm honestly not, but
Okay.
We always just took him out for practice and were the lap to beat for like the first 100 practice lap, because that was before anyone else got up to pace. And you just came in with like 5 laps and always set the pace at the start, and you weren't.
Yeah, well.
So I guess you are.
Yeah.
I think I would do better at commentary in those cars, but
I wouldn't complain if we had a commentator.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I think we are, because Tipsy's deciding whether he wants to race or to commentate. So
Oh.
yeah, depending on what he wants to do, you might have a partner there.
Yep. Yep.
If he decides to do that. But yeah, it'd be good to have you involved, certainly, because yeah, it's nice to have people involved. It looks like it's going to be a pretty big deal. League starts a week on Monday. If anyone watching wants to
okay.
join.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
But in any case, thanks
What's
for
the
talking
next
to us.
track I'm just dragging this along now, but
For ACC or for
yeah.
yeah,
ACC.
yeah. So we have a test race on Monday evening.
Okay.
That's at Paul Ricard. So we'll do that one,
Yeah.
and then the first proper race is the following Monday, and that's at Monza.
Okay.
So yeah, and we're just sort of doing the chronological order of the season. So it starts at Monza. I think the second. I actually don't remember where the
Brands Hatch.
Brands Hatch is the second race.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be a fun time, I think.
Okay. I'll maybe I'll see you guys there then.
Yep. Fingers crossed.
And 2 SRL tomorrow anyway. So.
Yeah, we'll certainly see you tomorrow. Thanks for talking to us, and commiserations on the no points today, but certainly Icewind will be back towards the front of the grid fairly soon, I'm sure. He tends to be at the front of the grid, and I'm sure he will be again. So I think that does it for the broadcast today. Of course, we have the usual stuff happening tomorrow. 2SRL at Silverstone, both Tier 2 and Tier 1 tomorrow from 17:30 UK time, 18:30 Eastern, Central European, I think. Or maybe it's 1800 Central European, I don't remember. In any case, at some point tomorrow afternoon/evening, there will be Tier 2 and then Tier 1 of 2SRL. And then Monday, as I mentioned, we've got the ACC test race on the 2SRL server. So join us for those if you can. And of course, we've got Tier 3 and Tier 2 of SLR next week as well. So I think that's going to do it. Does Timo have any final thoughts? That is the question.
Not really.
Not really. All right. Good final thoughts. We will we will leave you with that. And we will be back tomorrow with 2SRL. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then.